Hey! Welcome back to the second episode of the Basics to Music Production series, where I will show you how you can go from not knowing anything about music to being able to make your first song. Throughout this video, I will likely be referencing back to the first episode, so if you haven't seen that, I would highly recommend that you go watch it. I'll link it down in the description. Also, just to clarify, I am also going to be using Chrome Music Labs, so you can find that down in the description as well. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about chords, what makes them sound good, and how you can consistently make them sound good. So, what are chords? Well, on the basic level, chords are just a group of notes stacked on top of each other. They all play at the same time and can help to flesh out different frequencies. What are frequencies, you may ask? Frequency is kind of like pitch. When you hear something, it is composed of loads of different frequencies, which is what makes it sound unique. You can have higher frequencies and lower frequencies. Higher frequencies sound, well, higher, and lower frequencies sound lower or deeper. Also, it's measured in hertz. So now you know what I mean when I say the upper hearing limit of a human is 20,000 hertz. It means that humans can only hear that high. Why is this important? Well, the more frequencies that are played at the same time, the more full the sound will be. Okay, to fully understand chords, you will first need to learn about the names of notes. The names of notes sort of follow the same order of the alphabet, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. You'll see what I mean. The start of an octave is C. Ignoring the black notes for now, the next note is D. From there we have E, F, and G. This is as far as the names of notes follow the alphabet. After this, it just repeats. So we have A, B, and back to C. You can see how this note is the same as this note. You can tell this by the position of it compared to the black notes. So C is just below the group of two black notes. Going back to Chrome Music Labs, it's the exact same. The octave starts on C and goes all the way up to B before repeating. Spend some time memorizing these notes before we move on. Next are the black notes. These can get a tiny bit complicated, so try to stick with me here. A black note is named after either the note directly below it or the name directly above it. So this is either C sharp, represented by this symbol, or D flat. If you ever forget the name of a black note, you can just look at the notes that are on either side. Also, just a quick side note, F flat would just be E, and E sharp would just be F. The same goes for B and C. B sharp is C, and C flat is B. This is because each gap between a note is called semitone, and when a note is sharpened, it goes up by one of these semitones. And when a note is flattened, it goes down by one semitone. And so when E is sharpened, it just becomes F, for example. It is also worth noting that two semitones is one tone, so the gap between these two notes is a tone. Now that you know the name of notes, you can start to better understand chords. You might have heard of major and minor chords before. These are just the names that have been given to two different types of chords. Major generally sounds more cheerful, while minor sounds more sad. To make a major chord, simply pick a note. This is the tonic of the chord. It is the base of the chord, the foundation. Next, go up 4 spaces and place another note. This is called the mediant. Next, go up 3 more spaces and place the final note. This is the dominant. To make a minor chord, you can follow the same pattern as a major chord. Just move the mediant down by 1. The chord that you make is named after the tonic and whether it is major or minor. So this is D major and this is F sharp minor. So now you know major and minor chords, but you may be thinking, aren't there more than just 24 chords? 12 major and 12 minor? Well, yes and no. There are only 24, but you can add things to them and change them so that they sound better basically. This is where inversions come in. An inverted chord is one that has had the order of its notes switched around. So instead of having the tonic at the bottom of the chord, we could have it on the top. or we could put the median on the top. You can also add extra notes to the chord. For example, you could put an extra tonic on top, or you could just keep stacking the same chord on top of itself. There are so many possibilities. I think that's gonna about wrap up today's video. I strongly suggest that you take a while to mess around with chords to get familiar with them. You will be using them a lot. Next time we will be looking at chord progressions and making a good bass line. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you next time. See ya!